believe that she is a vulnerable young woman, and her parents aren't taking care of her.
Talk of the table time, and can you say awkward? No better way to make Thanksgiving even more difficult if you're a teenager than by suing your parents. Rachel Canning, an 18-year-old high school honors student, suing mom and dad. She's moved out of the New Jersey house, wants $650 a week in support plus money for tuition. Now, there's a sad and a serious side of the case. Rachel says her parents have neglected her. She's accused them of physical and verbal abuse and that they drove her to an eating disorder. Her parents say she stole credit cards, won't obey their rules, and broke curfew. And then came this fact in court, which frankly has never worked on any teenager ever.
We gave her the ultimatum of breaking up with her boyfriend, but she didn't want to give up the boyfriend.
Once again, that was, we gave her an ultimatum to break up with her boyfriend, but she didn't want to break up with the boyfriend. That helped lead to the split. The judge rejected the support argument, still has yet to rule on the college payments. This is pretty inane, isn't it? So,
how old is she?
She's 18.
She's 18.
She's 18, but you're not necessarily not a minor at that point in New Jersey. There's a weird...
I was an emancipated minor at 17.
Were you?
I was on my own since 17.
Did you sue your parents?
I wanted to. Not at the time. Later on, I thought maybe that would have been a way to go. No, but the thing that's very sad, and actually you and I mentioned this last night a little bit, is that, you know, if you mentioned, by the way, in this story, boyfriend, they want to break up with, curfew issues, and breaking rules. I'm sorry, your son, I don't know your son back then, but I'm just saying, whatever it was, he was a teenager, normal activities of teenagers. The sad thing in this is that it, A, ended up in court, and B, the father was on the, when I heard the soundbite yesterday, was on the record saying things nasty about his daughter to the media. The simple answer to him would have been, listen, I've had issues with my daughter. I'm not going to go into it. She knows what they are, and move forward and get this behind her.
But what about the whole college tuition thing? Because you could make the argument, and I guess her lawyer's going to try, that if she's been promised college tuition help from her parents, and now all of a sudden they're pulling that away, isn't that, in theory, on some level, a breach of...
I'm really having a hard time grasping this one. Maybe you guys, we got a columnist at the table and a political expert and an anchor. Maybe you guys can explain this to me. So the daughter wants to be a grown woman, but she wants mommy and daddy to pay for it.
Right. Yep.
Is that correct?
Yeah. Well played.
Well, here's the think about. Here's the other bigger question.
So let me just tell you this one. I'm not going to make this racial, but just imagine this situation. But just imagine this situation in the black community. Oh, mom and dad, I'm not going to listen to anything you have to say at all. But I need my college tuition because I'm ready to go.
It's $650 a week,
but think about
something
this.
like that.
If her parents were divorced, the divorce agreement would have had one of the parents paying for college and how it would have been set when she was younger. There'd be no out, possibly. I mean, think about it from that standpoint. It's kind of ironic that the family that stayed together, had there been a divorce, the divorce agreement would have said who's paying what for college going forward. That's a standard
She's
thing
been watching
today.
MTV a little too long.
Maybe there needs to be a postnatal agreement for when you have kids, just like prenuptials.
Prenuptial?
Yeah, agreement. You sign a deal with the baby,
Right. And you get the little footprint on the contract, you know?
That, unfortunately, makes about as much sense as the rest of the case.
Yeah, right. I can't believe any judge would even entertain this
I think it's on its way out. All right, next up, more money, more problems. You may have heard about the California couple that found a can of 100-year-old gold coins on their property. Turns out those coins could be worth as much as $10 million. Some speculated the coins may have been stolen from the San Francisco Mint and could be taken back by the government. That now seems less likely. But the government is seeking to collect taxes on the fine based on their value, which means that's about $4 million if they go that route. Now, two questions. If the coins were stolen from the government, from the vault, does finders keepers apply at all here? Don't they get? And the other thing is, the face value of the coins is $27,000. The value of the coins is like $10 million. Shouldn't they be taking taxes on the $27,000? I mean, it is legal tender.
It's no different than artwork. You sell artwork today and you bought it for $1 and you sell it for $1 million. You pay taxes on the artwork. It's like anything else you sell. If they don't want the tax, keep the coins, keep it in their pocket.
The government takes gold very, very seriously. They really do.
You sound like you're talking from personal experience.
Well, no, I mean, these coins that, were supposed to be removed, like the gold eagle or whatever that one was in 1932. And if anybody has one, the government's going to get you for, it's just, what's amazing to me is that they found this stuff in their backyard to begin with.
Right.
I mean, when you think about that, you know, I mean, I find my dog's bones back there, and that's about it.
If you find money that's been included in a bank robbery, can't you be criminally prosecuted
think you
if
can
you don't
be.
turn that in?
I think you can be.
So shouldn't
legally,
the
if
same
you-
apply to
legally, if you
this?
find somebody's wallet, you're supposed to report it and turn it in and all that. But I don't.
You know, here's
I
another
see.
reason. If there wasn't capital gains, if they were much lower, the tax bill would be a lot less. Here we go. Lower the taxes, we wouldn't have this issue.
Wow, he's never not on the job.
I like your idea, though, of only taxing the face value. I think that's unique.
It's worth tw- worth
Oh, that's
27
what you want to do, Andrew?
It's worth
Just-
27 grand,
I
and
know.
if you could buy a steak with
Right.
it. You could use its legal tender.
Can you imagine that argument to the government? I just want to pay taxes on the face value,
should.
on the face value, and they're putting handcuffs on you.
You know, before they
Right.
sell it, they should consider moving to a state with no income tax and see what that does going
still,
forward.
He's
You're
still
really
on the job.
Yeah?
He's still on the job.
Yeah.
All right, finally, if you've ever shopped at Whole Foods, you know it can be, let's say, a tad pricey. So much so that their nickname is Whole Paycheck. That nickname may be more accurate than you thought. Turns out the publicly traded company posts the salaries of all of their workers in a database that's available to anyone and everyone who works there. The store generally pays better than other supermarkets, nearly 19 bucks an hour. Average Whole Foods salary, 39 grand and change. The CEO, he makes $3.2 million. Would you want your salaries
Don't
posted?
look at me.
Would you want your salaries posted? I can understand the argument for that. It's an advertisement for the company. Hey, come work with us. We pay well. It's an incentive for employees to try to advance within the company. At the same time, it's a little loogie.
Mr. Whitman, can I ask you a question?
Go ahead, Dal.
Do you think that would work? I'm asking you and also our technical director, Ralph. Do you think that would work in a media company for one day if they put on the blackboard or the bulletin board everybody's salary, or would everyone else quit?
Well, you know, top line people, especially in this business, their salaries are usually public information. If Brian Williams signs a new contract with NBC News, we're going to know what it is. We're going to know what it's for.
No, we're going to know what he's pushing or what his agent is pushing for what his salary is. We're not going to know the actual answer.
Well, if it's a union shop, everybody knows what everybody's making. Yeah,
That's
and I
a
don't know if that's
but,
the case in this.
thanks to Opie and his friends, there are fewer and fewer of those.
Hey, you know what? We're fine with that too.
19 bucks an hour. They should. That girl is suing her parents.
I thought the girl should try to go hook up with the family that found the coins. That might be the better way
Wow.
to go for it.
Well, posting salaries.
Well, I don't think there's a necessary reason to do it. I think Whole Foods is very unique here too, because if I'm not mistaken, the CEO also takes his top pay is a multiple of the lower pay, whatever it is. I'm not sure what it is, but there's something in there. He's always posted what he's been making. So I don't think it's right for everybody.
I don't know why it's necessary. You know,
Yeah, what's the point?
yeah, what is the point? I mean, you could say, you make an announcement, we pay most of our employees $19 an hour, you know, and then there's merit raises
Well, but
or
there's
whatever.
also in a lot of jobs you're negotiating what your pay is going to be, and to find out what your pay is compared to what somebody else who's signed for a similar position or is doing a similar job, you'd want to know. There's also the gender equity issue too. If a woman's applying for a job and sees that men are being paid 20% more, there would be it would be informative for that as well.
I don't see the upside on it. I really don't.
I really don't.
Okay, firmly rejected by the panel tonight. Up next, the minimum wage. President Obama takes his case for a wage hike to Connecticut. Is this a potential landmine issue for Republicans this fall? That is after a break here on RFL.